I'm afraid we'll be in for some hard fighting.
Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it.
Check it. Minding my business the other day when these punks punched my girl and took her away. Could have been some cats that I owed dough to. Called my bro, he ain't have no clue. I don't care how many jumps I gotta go through. No guns, no knives, keep it old school. Just fists and feet, so we hit the street back to back till the mission's complete. Running up on can't speak and no words. A knee to the face, then I leave him on the curb. I'm well versed in the martial arts, but for some reason I only know 2 moves to start. All good, cause though I'm learning, I stay focused, determined, the place is burning. United we stand scrapping, attacking cats, cracking backs, the double dragons. Let's go. Me and War Rock keep it moving like the floor's hot. Don't quit your day job.
You might get a tour slot.
See those dudes rolling up, we don't move. Man, the flow's crazy. 302,
Foolish.
Parker Lewis, cause he don't lose. Skills don't equal murders, the kilos move. Guess I'm stating the obvious.
He probably is.
Since 07, been flooding the net like a tsunami hit. So put your hand up.
Turn it to a fist.
Take the other hand, clamp it around your wrist, and charge up and blast on a wannabe. The White Howard in the post, cause it's foolish. For the flick, 20 cards on the strip. The way I be killing it, put some gauze on it quick. 100 bars in the clip. Told y'all get equipped. Arm cannon holds infinite rounds. You getting hit. They told me think outside of the boxes, so I took the tape off, opened the flaps and squashed it. What you do with a deal, I do with a computer. Get your ludicrous mega ram, be spitting like the great Muda. Usually brutally, musically schooling these dudes. Groupies don't move me, I'm too busy making my moves. My movement is moving, excuse me, you was confused. Truest in music, I'm making it do what it do. At a new level of great, ahead of the fakes. Turn the system up, but it's a treble and bass. I come up the top rope, chop throats, cause you got.
Welcome out to the Nerd Effect Podcast. We are on a special episode today. This one will not be numbered. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Vancouver, joined by my buddies
Malcolm Morgan
and Mason Ireland.
And we got a special guest for you here today. We are at Tamagotchi Fest in Boise, Idaho, and we are joined by
Random, aka Mega Ran, teacher, rapper, hero, chip hop musician from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm happy to be here.
and just all around awesome guy.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I know your schedule is about as tight as it can possibly be around here right now. You just came fresh up from the RagerCon panel there.
Yes, that was amazing. It was intense.
Well, as he usually is.
Oh yeah, the ADD con. It's perfect for anyone who has a short attention span. You get an entire con experience in 1 hour. It was great.
Just straight up condensed, boiled down, and just get yelled at for an hour by Rager himself.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess my kind of plan for the podcast is we're just going to use this as a, oh, hey, look who's here. Joining us at the last minute.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay, man.
Did you get my text, or you just kind of?
I was.
Oh, okay.
You guys want to move around mics, or just you guys share?
You guys each have one mic and I'll share.
Sorry for the background noise, people.
Let me. Should I just silence or?
Sure.
Pick up
That's fine.
It should be good. Okay.
All right. So, who are you?
So who's our new special guest?
What's your name? Where you're from?
My name is K-Murdock. I am from Washington D.C. and happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Thanks for showing up. I know this for those who are listening. We had this planned, and then just by random, random showed up, and it was scheduled, but he happened to show up at the time he was scheduled without knowing he even needed to be here, and Kyle's here now too.
Yeah.
And we're totally excited about that.
Yeah, it was a great random occurrence. I seriously just walked in. I was just looking for something to eat.
And he did. And all right, well, now that we got you both here, first off, thanks again for coming.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
I guess we're just gonna try to use the show to as a get to know you, and see how you like it here and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I guess let's start. Where are you guys from? What do you do? And And
Well, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm from Philadelphia originally. I moved to Phoenix maybe about 6 years ago. I taught there for a few years and taught in Philadelphia as well in middle school. And then later moved on to making music full time. And I've just been kind of traveling and playing gigs kind of since then. So that's really been my life, just playing out, playing shows, doing hip hop and chiptune things in a combination that I like to call chip hop, and just kind of having fun along the way.
Excellent.
Awesome. And how about you, sir?
My background is similar in the sense of, well, I'm not from Philadelphia. I'm from DC again, Washington DC. Been there my whole life and studied audio production. So everything I've done has kind of been around radio and music, or just anything with audio. So I just love sound. So I met Random just through back in the days of MySpace. I was doing a hip hop show for XM Satellite Radio, which I worked for 9 years.
Oh, nice.
He submitted some music. I liked it. We kind of found out that we had a mutual admiration for one another. I was doing hip hop as well, and he kind of was the one who ushered me into this whole, the nerdcore scene as far as the video games and hip hop mashups that people were doing. I totally didn't know that was occurring, and I'm very thankful I do now, because the last 5 years we've been able to travel around and see some great parts of the world and perform. It's been awesome.
Yeah. You guys have any questions?
I was going to say, for both of you, like you just kind of answered it with
Right.
Random getting you into it, but what started you down the nerdcore chiptunes?
I don't really know. I guess I used to work as a studio engineer in Philadelphia, and I was dealing with a lot of guys who were making music that was very typical hip hop stuff, stereotypical rather, where it was, it was guns, drugs, money, just being the toughest person in the room, and I wasn't about that. And so it kind of jaded me on hip hop, where I didn't want to deal with that scene for a while. So after I left the studio, I kind of fell back and got back to playing video games, and it was just the only thing that helped me to find a piece of innocence, from my youth. And I started playing games again, and then I got an idea to mix games with hip hop, and it was Mega Man, that really encouraged me to do it. It was great music,
Yeah.
and so I figured if I tried to remix it, I can maybe turn it into a hip hop track or two. And so I did, and then I made more and more. And then someone told me, this is nerdcore. And I said, what's nerdcore? And so at the same time, we're operating totally parallel until one year I went to South by Southwest Festival in Texas and met MC Frontalot, who at the time was releasing a movie called Nerdcore Rising.
Right.
Where he
Great
discussed, it was great. He discussed and depicted the trials and tribulations of being a nerd rap artist and the tours and things like that. And so that's when I realized, like, wow, I'm doing the same thing, but it just doesn't have a name, So I kind of met those guys. We got pretty friendly, and ever since then, that's how I got into the nerd world.
Okay.
Yes. How about you were talking about how some of this music that you had listened to wasn't your stereotypical, it wasn't really vibing with you at all. So what are some of your influences as far as your music goes?
Well, I came up with a lot of soul music, oldies from my mother. Being in Philadelphia was a big indie soul movement. Guys like the OJs out of Philadelphia, Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin and Blue Notes, moving on to then Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, James Brown, Prince, Michael Jackson.
People you've never heard of.
Nah, you know. But I think those guys have influenced me the most. But and then when I got into hip hop, it was there were guys like who always managed to keep it positive. Guys like Chubb Rock or LL Cool J or De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest, even Wu-Tang Clan and guys like that were even despite making music that might have had a rugged exterior, they're able to also sprinkle some knowledge nuggets in there, and so I always liked that. So those were my biggest inspirations. So it was probably about mid '90s is when I got really into hip hop, where I wanted to be a part of it, and that was the time when Wu-Tang and Tribe Called Quest and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and a lot of those guys had just started. It was a really big time for me, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And so that was when I started. I didn't really take it seriously till maybe about another 10 years after that. Well, because my mom always told me, go to college, do what you have to do, get the plan B situated before you even think about doing this for real. And so I did, and so I'm glad I did that. But I feel like I have now some lost time to make up for. Like now, I'm 35 or 36 now, and it's like I feel like, man, I feel like I'm 26. As far as music goes, I'm still a rookie. I'm still young, and I'm still young in heart and mind. So I just feel like I gotta, make up for lost time and just keep going hard.
Yep.
How about some of your favorite influences?
I grew up listening to a lot like Raheem, just a lot of soul music. I'm a real big Tribe Called Quest fan. Even have one of their front covers.
Oh yeah, there you go.
My, arm,
nice.
Which was kind of funny when I met them and I showed it off. I really didn't know how they would flip out. Like, this dude's a total loon. Like, he got our group tattooed, but they were really cool. They were like, what? Taking pictures and stuff. So thank God they didn't think I was crazy. But they kind of shaped me. Like De La Soul, same thing, who ran in that same clique as Tribe Called Quest, because growing up they were always tagged like the hip hop hippies, because they were about peace and really kind of not what was going on in hip hop, which was a lot of the gangster stuff from the West Coast that was being really advertised and out there. And I was kind of like that. Like, those are the guys I more sided with, because I wasn't in the streets like that. I was from the suburbs. I was a nerd, and so aside from that, I would say the other thing I've really been influenced by, I used to listen to a lot of even the video game stuff before I knew it was a thing. Like, I really thought Yuzo Koshiro was like a great producer from the work he had done on like Actraiser, The Streets of Rage, to Hudson Adventure, Super Adventure Island. I used to think the stuff that he produced could be played on regular urban radio, because you could tell he was totally influenced from the Western sound, like hip hop sound, and as well as a lot of soundtrack stuff from Vangelis, who did the Blade Runner and Chariots of Fire stuff. I really like synthesizers, so that's kind of actually really influenced my sound as far as like being very spacey, but also trying to maintain a little soulfulness in it as well.
So I would say possibly a little off topic, but British Classical FM Radio has their top 10 list they put out every year, and last year the soundtrack to Skyrim, or sorry, not Skyrim, Morrowind.
Okay.
And Final Fantasy VII were both in their top 5.
Wow. So
as artists, as musicians who make music and also play games, what do you guys think about that?
That's amazing. I think it's awesome. And it's just going to show that more and more, I think the line is just kind of blurred between, what's considered great music and people aren't, looking at things, I guess, kind of, I feel like a lot of people have kept a bit of a wall up, like, oh, this is video game music and then this is real music.
Right.
But I feel like that wall is being broken down, and people can understand and respect that this stuff is ingenious, and it's really well done music. That was really cool to hear. Also, I've heard from a couple people inside of the industry that classical music, everybody says, is like a dying genre. Like, musicians today don't play classical,
right,
because no one buys it, no one listens to it. Supposedly, they only listen to the classics. So it's almost like video game music is becoming the new classical,
right?
And I think that's amazing. That's awesome.
I think that's awesome. Not to again piggyback, but I mean, it is awesome because, especially as the technology for the video games, I think has gotten better over the years. It is more viable, and the argument you can throw that it isn't real music is out the window because the stuff sounds so quality now. I think by the time the PlayStation came out and games were coming out on CD, you had that. You could put like more orchestral kind of pieces on stuff, right, as opposed to bleeps and bloops, and because a lot of people still think video game music is that, but it's really not. Like, you got people like Jesper Kidd, who did, the stuff for Assassin's Creed and Hitman. His stuff has been like some of the best like classical stuff I've heard. Like his renditions of Ave Maria for the Hitman soundtrack, to me, are some of the best I've heard, man. It's like, it's amazing. So I think those days, I mean, even looking at what's his name, who did the Journey soundtrack, him being nominated for
Austin Winter.
yeah, like him being nominated, I think that was a huge like coup, like as far as like and a win rather, for just saying, hey, like you gotta recognize this, for what it is now. So
Mike, do you have any questions?
He's the silent partner.
Mike's the silent partner. Yeah.
Hey, so doing video game music, do you guys get groupies?
Not like you would think. The groupies we get are normally, I don't even want to call them groupies though. They're just kind of fans, usually guys who want to do what we do. And they just kind of, and I'm always willing to share as much knowledge as I can. So we get guys, and I think when I create music, I try to create a mood, a feeling. And I always feel like the people who support it are also in that mood and that feeling, and we're all joined. We're family, at least for that moment. And some people take that a little far, and when I come to do a show, they wanna hang out and play video games and things like that, which sounds fun, but I still feel like you got to keep a level of distance, just out of respect. Sometimes people don't believe it, but I can be a very socially awkward or shy, introverted person at times, and sometimes I need to get away from a situation to just recharge my batteries,
Oh, I totally understand.
And you understand? And that's me, and it's always good to have like a guy like Kyle there. So, Kyle loves to talk, and so it's like I can that energy balance is there where I can slowly fade out of the conversation just to recharge a little bit, and I need that time, or else I would probably just go nuts. And yeah, man, it's fun though. I think, we build a relationship with our fans, but it always is important to keep a level of distance and respect, just in order to allow the artist to have their creative space,
Right.
Yeah. But short answer, no groupies.
I'm
in nerd music,
married,
we don't have groupies. Yeah. I'm happily in a relationship, and yeah, that doesn't happen.
No.
I guess to kind of piggyback off something you just said, so I guess based on that, what is some of your advice for somebody who might want to, get into creating their own music, maybe even whether it's nerdcore or even traditional music?
I always say find mentors, people who are not only doing what you want to do, but that have knowledge based on what you want to do. Like, find people that will give you honest feedback. The person that does not always say, man, I love it. It's amazing. It's awesome. That person that can tell you, I don't like that, and then can tell you why. That's the person you need to keep around. You don't need yes men around you. So those are the number 1 and 2 things for me is having a mentor and having very serious, honest feedback, and constructive, where you can have a conversation about why this sucks, not just it sucks because it sucks, So intelligent folks around you in general is a good thing, Will Smith said you are who you hang around, you're your 5 best friends. So if you look at your 5 best friends and they're all just doing nothing, that's you, you just don't see it, and I think there's something to that. So yeah, try to watch who you're around and make sure those people are uplifting you and critiquing you in a constructive way.
Wow, well said. Piggybacking, I think it is important to have a mentor, and if you don't have a mentor, you find out, and I know Rand can attest to this, it's a lot of trial by error, a lot of trial by fire when you do stuff. But like for me, I'm a Taurus, that's my astrological sign, and I'm hard-headed, so sometimes even though I see the sign that says, hey, don't go down this road, death. Or, well, not death, because I don't want to seem it's like not that serious, but it's like, yeah. Or it could be something real pernicious, like injurious to you. I'll still do it just to be like, oh, that's why they said. But I'll be in like a cast or something in a wheelchair afterwards, metaphorically.
Yeah.
But so I say, if you can find like yes, a mentor is someone you can kind of use as a sponge and just bounce ideas off of. Great. And a friend of mine, one of the guys I first started working with, used to said this to me a long time ago, just in conversation, and it stuck with me. He says, be afraid not to be you. Basically, like, don't run away from what you are. Like, so, and with some people, it just takes time. Like, you'll start out, and naturally, with anything, you want to emulate someone else. But the more you get into something and you kind of find your way, and I was the same way with doing music. I wanted to sound like all the guys I listened to. And then I found out, that's what makes them, and that's what makes me, me. And I had to kind of embrace that and say, it's okay. Like, I have a different, unique sound, and just really, and the fact that I had people who like what I did, like, really kind of substantiated that. So I say, be afraid not to be you, just embrace your uniqueness, man. It's great. Like, that's what makes us as humans, even though, I was just saying this, like, we might have a twin in this life, but usually even if someone looks just like you, 10 times out of 10, they're going to act very different.
Right.
Like, we each have these little DNA things that make us different. Embrace that, man. And, like, don't be afraid of it. So, yeah.
I remember one piece of advice that came from me was off of Venture Time. If you ever watch the show,
I love that show.
At gyms.
Jake, he said something like it was something along the lines of the first step to being good at something is kind of sucking at something.
Right.
Yep.
So,
That's so true. That is real.
it's like as funny as that line was in that moment, it's like, yeah.
Oh no! Wait, that's how you get better. Is you
Right.
suck
Really,
first.
Exactly.
you have to suck. Yeah. Because you got to know what it's like, and you got to know what sucky things sound like and feel like, and like, man, I was there. I know that, That's so true. Adventure Time is full of little nuggets like that, man.
It is. It really is.
It's a great show for adults. It really is.
Yeah, it's. I like shows that that kids can connect with, but then when an adult watches that, they see the subtext in it.
Right.
Shrek
So
was really
win-win.
good with that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. It sounds like you got one. Go for it.
Well, I was just gonna say in general, how you get, Raheem. I don't think this isn't your first time to Boise, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I've done Tomodachi last year, and we've come through here on tour before. So yeah.
When you came here on tour, I was like, no, I'm gonna miss it.
No.
But so I guess what are your thoughts on Boise? Like, how do you like Boise as a city?
Oh, I like it a lot. It feels a little like Phoenix, a lot of open air. I love that beautiful landscape, just looking out, just seeing mountains and trees and things. It's gorgeous. The people are super friendly and laid back. I love that about it. I've had a great time, and it's one of my favorite places to come to because it's very relaxing. You don't get the hustle and bustle feel. You get treated like friends and family, which is something that you don't get too often where I'm from.
It's actually kind of funny you would mention that about Boise reminding you of Phoenix. A few years back, I was in Phoenix for like 3 years, trying to go to school and stuff. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it surprised me how much Phoenix reminded me of Boise. So
Yeah.
I can definitely understand that.
It's so similar.
Except the temperature, right?
Yeah.
Except the temperature. Yeah.
You guys get some cool nights. We
I
don't,
love it.
We don't
the
do
weather's
Oh, yeah.
great. So.
As I say, if you get here in the summer, it'll get up to like 108
Oh, well.
pretty
no.
easily. For
Well, when I moved back from Phoenix, it was just getting over 100 here in Boise, but it was like 125 in Phoenix when I left.
that. Yeah.
So I got here and
sounds
I'm
about
just
right.
like, yeah, I can handle this. This is no problem.
Once it's over 110 out there, it's
Does
all
it
the
get
same.
muggy or is it more dry?
It's a dry heat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
I can deal with that.
We get the occasional muggy days, but they're few and far between.
Well, D.C. is like muggy, and that
Oh, yeah,
goes
it's
back to the
gross.
fact that the city was built on a swamp, which I didn't
Right.
find out till I was like a teenager. I'm like, that's why it's so friggin' hot here. I mean, it's to the point like
Gross.
multiple showers are sometimes required, like in the peak of summer in
Yeah.
D.C.
That's how
Or
it
like
really
sticking
runs.
your
Dry.
hand out and feeling the, that's gross.
Yeah.
But you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know if you get used to it. It's
Well, I'm
disgusting.
used to it. It's
I've-
all I've known.
That's why I moved from the East Coast. I was just tired of the weather out there. It's the only place, well, not the only place, but you get really bad summers and really bad winters.
You get all 4 seasons
in the
man.
Northeast. You get heat waves where it's 100 degrees, 80% humidity, and then you get blizzard like every year it seems like it's the worst blizzard in 10 years. Like it's, 7 feet of snow. Like it's crazy. So I just got tired of it, and I had a knee jerk reaction and to a really bad winter and moved to Phoenix. So it's just like, I don't want to see snow anymore. And if I want snow, I can drive to Flagstaff, which is just 2 hours north. I can see it, play in it, and then go home.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, you might have heard that, Boise doesn't have 4 seasons, but we do. We have almost winter, still winter, and hot construction.
Sorry, go ahead.
So that's Phoenix too, pretty much. It's hot and not as hot. That's what we got.
You guys are here during a good time of year, though. This is
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is the best time of year, is right when fall starts kicking in and the weather starts dropping a little bit. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, it was still up in the mid 80s. So I mean,
oh wow,
you guys came on a good weekend.
Awesome.
I guess I don't really have. But what do you guys? Sorry, we don't do. We had this long, like our third interview, so we're still practicing.
Yeah, we're still working out the kinks.
I guess, what are your guys' tour dates like? What are you guys doing coming up next?
I'll be touring solo with a couple of other acts. I actually have to go back to Phoenix for a week. I'm going to be practicing with my band, the Low Classics, and we're going to play a show out there with the band on October 9th. And then I'm going to Dallas on the 11th for a big festival with Andrew WK and the Proto Men and a bunch of folks. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll resume my tour for 8 more days in San Antonio, and then we start going west from there, and we end in San Francisco on the 19th. So it's going to be a fun time out on the road. But all those dates, I don't know when this is going to air. So, but all those dates will be at megaran.com/shows. So you can catch up with all that.
I was just going to ask, where can they go to find out?
Oh, that's where.
.com.
Yep.
You, sir?
I'm kind of stranded not stranded. That's a bad way of saying it. I'm at home working. I'm a studio engineer by day for a radio station. So, I'm doing that, and my wife is 6.5 months pregnant. So I'm kind of on baby watch. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's our first, so it's a big deal. And so I'm kind of this is it. This is my last hurrah for at least 2014, because my daughter is supposed to be born on the 1st of the year.
Nice.
So it's Happy New Year. So I'm preparing myself.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right. Well, if you got any other questions, where can they visit you at?
The-sound-samurai.com. I was trying to get the Sound Samurai together, but there was no, the URL was taken. So the dashes are cool. They're kind of like ninja, like sword strikes.
There you go.
There you go.
I still
got it.
My handle, I go by Dustimus Prime on the internet, and but I still use the underscore between Dustimus and Prime.
Oh, really?
And I do that on purpose as an old kind of throwback to Windows 3.1, where you couldn't actually do a space in your file names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
one of the big selling points of XP. You can have a space and a file name.
Right. That's MC Frontalot. His Twitter handle has an underscore because of that same reason.
Oh, nice.
He keeps the underscore just because of that. No, because of the old days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can wrap up here if there's no other questions.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man.
Sweet,
Well,
nice to
thank
meet you,
I know
gentlemen.
you guys gotta get back downstairs. That's why I'm kind of wrapping it up. You got about 15 minutes to 3. So, thank you guys for coming up. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Are you going to play some more music?
If you will allow it, I will absolutely do it.
do that. I'm totally for that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Let's play some stuff.
All right. Yeah, I'll open and end it with a track from you guys.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And again, if you guys are ever in town, let us know.
Oh, will do, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
Give me a quarter. I was a witness. Get me a reporter. Call April O'Neil in on this case. Hey, you better hurry up. There's no time to waste. We need help quick on the double. Have pity on the city. Man, it's in trouble. We need heroes like the Lone Ranger. When Tonto came pronto. When there was danger. They didn't say they'd be there in half an hour. Cause they displayed turtle power.
Of a boy who believed that whatever he dreamed he would come to achieve, but never in his life did he dream he could be an inspiration to those who came after he. there was ever any random. There was a boy in the hood who always did good, so the bullies of the block couldn't stand him. And on Christmas and birthdays, he got mad presents, so many he ain't know what to play with. He had Transformers, He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, but the G.I. Joes was his favorite. He was so creative that if they didn't make the toy, he decided to create it. He put Storm Shadow's legs on Snake Eyes' body till they popped, and then he duct taped it. He made spaceships while the big kids hung out on the block playing hide and seek and riding bikes. They used to try to get involved, but they told him get lost. And that's when they started getting high at night. Then I heard he made a friend who was as nerdy as him. When he had all that he could withstand, he collected comics and cards, studied, knew the whole Star Wars script like the back of his hand. And in school he made A's and B's, and teachers complimented his amazing feats. And all the while he wondered, if I'm so amazing, geez, how come nobody won't play with me? Huh? So to say this kid looked funny in school, that would be a colossal understatement. He had high water pants, Coke bottle frames, and a mouth full of orthodontic braces. First girlfriend was named Christina Perez. He took her everywhere, now the boy's so cool. But she dated him on a dare and left him standing there without a clue. Man, kids could be so cruel. Just when people couldn't like the boy any less. Around the same time, Shorty got an NES. Cause his mama felt this was the best way to keep him out of the streets, although they was penniless. Only child, so she didn't want an empty nest. And it's a healthier addiction than cigarettes. And so it began. How did he escape the scene? He sat in front of that screen and chased his dreams. He gained a couple beers and sucked up game like a vacuum. Went off to college and saw some knowledge and developed the heart to make rap tunes. Vowed to stay true when he dropped his debut and did, so this got his little name up. And there was money in the bank, but money drew a blank every time the second LP came up. So he thought back to childhood and how he survived in such a wild hood. Then he realized they didn't hate him, and whatever didn't break him, that's what made him. So he decided to combine his love for the games and rap, open his soul up and let him in. Then he chopped up some 8-bit sounds, put it down. Now Random is now known as Mega Ran. Now his name's all over that internet. Girls who didn't care are now interested. And the best part of the story comes at the end, but that part hasn't been written yet.